You think you know her because you've heard her everywhere, but when SZA steps into this story, she doesn't arrive like a loud pop poster, she arrives like a storm. Trying to look calm, soft, oval face with warm brown skin that glows under light, big, expressive. Eyes that look like they're holding back 10 thoughts at once, full lips that always seem one breath away from a laugh or a sigh. And that wild, cloud-like hair that makes her silhouette feel untamed even when she's standing still. And that's the first clue that her biggest hit was never born from confidence. It was born from chaos. Here's the hook that makes people stop scrolling. SZA's biggest hit didn't start in a studio with a team and a plan. It started as a private breakdown that was never supposed to leave the room, and the scariest part is how close it came to disappearing forever. In this cartoon story, the hit begins on an ordinary night that turns heavy fast, the kind of night where you're fine until you aren't, where one small thing tips the entire day into a spiral and suddenly your mind is replaying everything you hate about yourself in high definition. She's not glamorous in that moment, she's human. Sitting in a quiet space with the lights too bright and the silence too loud. Phone face down, heart racing, brain chewing on every regret like it's trying to prove a point. The first turn hits when she does the one thing people do when they retry not to fall apart. She grabs the nearest tool that can turn feeling into something else. For her, it's a voice memo, a notebook, a half-open project on a laptop, anything that can catch a thought before it bites. She doesn't start with a chorus, she starts with a sentence that feels like a confession. Raw and messy and too honest to show anyone, the kind of line you'd be embarrassed to admit you even thought. Then she hums a melody over it, not pretty, not polished, more like a shaky handrail. And that tiny melody becomes the first thread out of the pit. The second turn is where the breakdown becomes a blueprint, because once you put pain into a shape, you can move it around. You can cut it, stretch it, soften it, and that is power when your emotions feel like they're driving. She records another take, then another, stacking imperfect layers until the sadness starts sounding like a song instead of a sentence. It still isn't a hit, it's more like a bruise with rhythm, but it's alive and that matters. The third turn comes when she almost deletes it. Because the moment the emotion passes, shame rushes in to replace it, telling you that you were dramatic, but you shouldn't have said that nobody wants to hear it, that you should keep it private and keep your pride intact. She hovers over delete like she's about to erase evidence of being vulnerable. And this is where the stakes spike, because the entire future of the song is balanced on a single second of impulse. But instead of deleting it, she labels it something boring, something that won't tempt her to listen later, and she buries it in a folder like it as a secret she's trying to forget. Days pass, the world moves. The pressure returns in a different outfit, deadlines, expectations, noise, and the song stays buried like a time capsule. Then a new turn hits, she has a day where nothing works. Studio session energy is wrong, the vibe is stiff, everything sounds like an imitation of something that already exists, and the room starts feeling like a machine that wants product instead of truth. She's tired, not just physically, but tired of pretending she's fine, tired of chasing perfection, tired of hearing the word hit like it's a threat. That's when she remembers the buried file, not because she wants to be emotional again, but because she wants something real. She plays it back and it hits her like cold water. Because the memo isn't perfect, but it has something money can't buy. It has honest. Midpoint twist. The thing that makes the song powerful is the thing she thought made it unusable. The crack in her voice, the slightly off timing, the unguarded words. All the parts she wanted to hide are the parts that feel like a pulse. She realizes the breakdown didn't ruin her image, it revealed her sound. And that's the moment the hit truly begins, not as a finished track, but as a decision to stop sanding down the edges that make it human. Another turn comes when she starts rebuilding the song like a house around a single candle. She keeps the core line, the raw heart of it, and she experiments with production that matches the feeling instead of fighting it. Drums that sound like a heartbeat, bass that feels like weight in the chest, harmonies that hover like thoughts you can't shut off. Every tweak is a gamble because the more you polish, the more you risk killing what made it true, and the more you leave it raw, the more you risk people calling it messy. That tension becomes the engine. She's no longer trying to impress anyone, she's trying to preserve a moment. The next turn is the first listen for other ears, and that's always terrifying because the song is not just sound, it's a snapshot of her worst night. If people reject it, it won't feel like they rejected a track, it'll feel like they rejected her. But the reaction isn't what she expects. People don't respond to it like critics, they respond like survivors, like the song named a feeling they couldn't explain. And suddenly the breakdown that felt embarrassing becomes a bridge. The stakes rise again because now she understands what this song can do, not just chart, but connect, and connection is bigger than clout. Dark twist. The more the song grows, the more everyone wants to own the story of it. Teams want a clean narrative, fans want a romantic. Myth commentators want a simple headline, and none of them want the messy truth that it started with her alone.